And that in a closed state, our attention is often caught in this experience that we're all having all day, every day, but often not aware of, which is what psychologists call mind wandering. So the basic idea is that that first stage or first shift that happens from a closed to open mind, it's really about the focus of the mind or where our attention rests. And that in a closed state, our attention is often caught in this experience that we're all having all day, every day, but often not aware of, which is what psychologists call mind wandering, right? It's that state of just time traveling through random stories about the past and the future. When we open, though, we're experiencing something like what psychologists call meta awareness, where there's a little bit of space now between us and our thoughts, us and our emotions. There's like a disidentification that happens there. So that's the first piece. The second piece, which you alluded to, is this shift from avoidance to approach, which is that whole idea of turning toward rather than turning away from the things that might be uncomfortable. But I really think the essence of opening and the magic of opening is this idea of size. That when we're closed down, and I think we've all had this experience when you're really stressed, frustrated, closed down, it's almost like you're looking at life through this long and dark tunnel, and all you can see is that one problem or that one person that's driving you crazy. And that opening involves this kind of expansion of the space of the mind such that the problem might still be there, the person might still be there, but there's like more space around it. And I think that's the real power of opening, is that it's not a shift that's designed to get rid of our problems. It's not a shift that's designed to have us live in this like amazing utopian state of bliss all day, every day. It's more of a shift that's designed to give us bigger perspective. So we don't have to change the world or the way things are around us, but we're just changing the lens through which we view life.
It's interesting. I notice when you talk about the size, I experience that not just as like the size of my mental processes or something, but almost like the size of the energy field, if you will, that I'm occupying, and how that field of being can become more expansive and extended in every direction. And I wonder if that's also your experience, this experience of openness, as in sort of the size. It's not, I don't know if I'd call it your aura or something, but it's like a feeling that you can occupy a really huge space of being, something like that.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely my experience. I mean, even we've been talking now for, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes. When we first started talking, I could feel a little bit of contraction, a little bit of closure in myself. And as we've been talking, I've been having this experience of just like a little bit more space. And for me, the best concept for that to wrap around that is something like awareness, that it feels like the space of my awareness or my perception is just getting a little bigger. And it's, instead of being really compressed down, where I'm sort of caught in this little tiny room and you're over there, it feels like, well, maybe we're actually a little more connected in some way. So yeah, I think that is the experience for me. And it's funny because it's not an experience that we can necessarily measure. The brain doesn't get bigger when we open. That's not the expansion of size. It's so much subtler, so much more ethereal, but I think it really does matter because that expansion of size gives us the ability to respond instead of react when we're triggered. It gives us that space between stimulus and response where we can build new and better habits. It's like the space of possibility, of creativity. So for me, you could say, well, the size of the mind, who cares? Big mind, small mind, doesn't really matter. But I kind of think that's the whole game. This expansion is really what most of us are after.